vicious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Hello and welcome to the Rotherham United podcast. This is looking back at a 1-0 defeat at Reading and looking ahead to the South Yorkshire derby Wednesday night live on Sky against Sheffield Wednesday. We are back with the full house. Ben's back with us today. How are we, Benjamin?
I'm good as can be.
I'm sure everybody will be interested to know what minute you plan on doing your first rant today.
Wait and see.
No? And Mick's here as well. How's it going, Mick?
Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Thank you. Under the circumstances.
One thing I would say as well about the last podcast, I was a bit tired and a bit. That's it really.
Sensitive.
Because it's family podcast, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I was a bit tired.
That's not.
As I am now, but yeah. What I said still stands, I believe, but the way I said it, the way I put it across was...
Can I just say, Ben, the fact that you're tired is absolutely no excuse whatsoever. And what you should have been doing is training harder for this podcast. Quite honestly.
Yeah, that one coming, Ben, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You team up, mate. I'll knock him in.
There's going to be sort of three parts to this today, I suspect. There'll be we'll talk about the game yesterday. We'll be talking about the game on Wednesday. And we put a poll out today about the potential issues of management. Issues is not the right word, but that needs to be covered. I think we need to talk about it, and we will. We've had some really, really good discussions. We record on the Sunday. A lot of great replies from people from both sides of the fence. Worn in, worn out. The difference was from yesterday to today was everybody was really angry on Saturday. And I think that came across really badly. And then basically everybody replied to our poll. It's been really good, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll come on to that later anyway. We'll cover game first before we come on to that because the game needs to talk about again. 1-0 defeat, Ben. We had the chances, didn't we? We had a couple of Freddie chances, a Smith chance. Although we didn't play very well, we were unlucky not to pick something up.
Yeah, we had the chances again, obviously. I think we were Freddie at the bar, weren't it? Yeah, man, it's just... Yeah, with the header. It's annoying, obviously. I think it's 5 straight defeats, but you don't look at that. You look at the performance because in the end, that's what really matters. Because you can win every single game, but if you don't play well, next season you're not going to get any points and humiliate yourself. So... I think the performance was good. Definitely positives to take from it. Obviously, it's a loss. It's only 1-0. Their goal was maybe questionable, but that is what it is, isn't it? It's football. You've got to accept that. I think definitely positive. 100%.
Yeah, I agree with some positive, but Mick, unfortunately, quite a lot of negatives from the game. It was lacklustre. They couldn't string passes together, which were a couple of yards apart. Yeah. We talked on the post-match show about constantly trying the Hollywood pass when the easy 5-yard pass is on. I talked to Second Tier about it earlier today, Second Tier podcast, and it's at times it looked like a group of people that had not played together. It looked like they didn't know what the plan was, did they?
No, they didn't. And then it was a poor performance overall in my view. I still agree with Ben in terms of the positives to take from it. However, overall, the performance was poor. It just showed a complete lack of any confidence, a lack of any. I don't know. It's just a lack of everything, really. I've got very little. I know I've just said there's some positives to take from it, but I'm finding it a bit hard even now, 24 hours, 36 hours later, or whatever it is, to find them. But it was poor. It was poor on the pitch. It was poor off the pitch as well. I know we'll come on to this later, as you said, but some of the decisions in terms of the way the substitutions were made were I don't understand them. But yeah, I mean, it was just a poor performance. I think after singing Victor Johansson's praises in the last podcast, I think you've got to look at himself for the goal, because he's just knocked the ball straight back into the path of the offside player. I'll just throw that one in. I said at the time I thought it was offside. I've looked at it again today. It's definitely offside. There's no question in my mind. The player who scored is offside. The player who's next to him is offside, as are two others. Two others not interfering, but certainly the lad who scored were offside when the ball came in. But it is what it is. That I'm not going to complain too much about it, because we should have still got something from the game, and had we played to our capabilities, we would have done, wouldn't we? And we didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. Obviously Clark Robertson got injured, Ben, which was a massive issue in terms of having to change the formation to the game. But one injury early on shouldn't have as much impact as it turned out having. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you're probably asking the wrong person for that coronavirus. But no, it should have no impact. It should have no impact whatsoever, mentally, physically. Yeah, I don't know why it did. I mean, I do know why it did, but I wish it didn't, because it doesn't have to. I'm not even going to say it, because the professional athletes, right? If they don't plan for any contingencies in a game, mentally, whatever, right, then please just, wow. You know what I mean? Go down, manage at Roma or down at Stubbing or something. Cause you don't even deserve to be there, to be honest, man.
No wrong with that.
That's harsh.
I'm going to say, you don't even deserve to be there, man. It should be, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It should be maybe the 4 kids. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, what I will say is you're going from a 3-5-2 to a 4-4-2. 4-4-2 is a formation that every professional footballer should be able to play, and I think can play. It's the simplest of the formations. It's very, very basic.
It's the alphabet. It's the alphabet for professional football.
Yeah, exactly. But the issue with that is, which me and Mick talked about yesterday, we played forward across the middle with 3 central midfielders playing in the central area. We didn't have anybody on the right-hand side at all. Or when Giles came to the right-hand side, we had nobody on the left-hand side.
The thing is, right, we're in a relegation battle. We are, obviously, we just are, right? And when you're in a relegation battle, obviously you need everyone and everything to stay up, right? And if your players aren't willing to just switch formation because someone's took a little knock, then we're not going to stay up. They should be playing, you know what I mean? They should be putting up gloves if they have to. Yeah. So I don't think that should be used as an excuse. I think they should be willing to play 2-3-5, 5-1-4, whatever. You know what I mean? They should be willing to play any formation and play it well, or to the best of their ability.
Oh, well
enough. I don't think we did that yesterday, which is it's inexcusable for me. But then again, I'm very harsh.
Are you tapping your desk, man?
Yeah, sorry.
I agree. I think the big players that missing, Crooks were anonymous. Sean McDonald was anonymous. For the most part, Wing was anonymous, so that I might be being a bit harsh on Wing. Giles struggled a lot, I thought. He put a couple of crossing, but for the most part struggled. Olasunde's been quiet for about a month now. I thought both centre-backs who stayed on the pitch did quite well. I thought Harden and Angus McDonald had pretty good games. I know about Harden, you can question his distribution at times, but defensively, I thought we looked pretty solid. It was just sort of in front of the defence is where the problem was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just composure on the ball, wasn't it? There was none. From back to front, there was zero composure on the ball. It was it's as simple as that, really. Olasunde's not running at players like he did before. Giles is not running at players like he did before. Those are the things that were causing a lot of problems for opposition teams, and we're not doing it. I don't blame the injury to Robertson for the performance. I don't think that had much of an impact on the game, quite frankly. I think we were poor before it, we were poor after it. So they've got to regroup. as a team. They've got to regroup and go back to doing what they do well. And that is put teams under pressure. We're all right. And yesterday we were all right. We were good, very, very good at putting them under pressure when they had the ball.
Yeah.
So out of possession, we were very good at putting that pressure on and that really high press. However, once we got the ball, we didn't put them under any pressure at all. Hardly anyway throughout the game. And that's what we had been doing. Once we turned that ball over, we were starting to put teams under pressure, and we didn't do that yesterday at all. We didn't keep ball long enough to do it, did we? Let's be fair.
I was like, no.
Yeah, it was poor. It was as poor a performance as we've had all season. It was down there for me as a whole with the Coventry game. Yeah.
It's 2 in a row as well. This is not the first one. The Forest game was very, very poor as well.
Yeah,
and that's where you can accept one bad performance in 7. But when you start getting 2 in a row, it then potentially becomes an issue.
People start to worry, don't they? As
they do. It is a shame. But this is the Championship. It's literally less than a month ago. We were all, we're going to finish 14th here. This is nice and comfortable. It's only so many more wins, and we're going to be safe. And now we're 5 points to drift to the relegation zone. And if we lose again on Wednesday, we'll be lucky to be only 5 points adrift on 10 o'clock on Wednesday if we lose. I felt really down after the game yesterday. Really, really down. I felt really frustrated. I'm still frustrated now, I suppose. But we should have got something out of the game. At the same time, we can say we played badly, and we did play badly. We still should have got something out of the game with the chances that we had.
Definitely.
It's positives, negatives, everything else in between. It's frustrating. So we're going to move on to the next part of the game, of the debate. Issues defensively. We blamed Johansson for the goal, mate. Any other issues defensively from that?
I'm being a bit harsh with it. However, as a goalkeeper, he's got 3 places essentially he can put that ball as the player comes in. He can put it to his right, which is right back into the mix. So he didn't want to do that. He could put it straight in front of him, which is what he did, which is straight back to the player that kicked it at him. I'll just put it out. Yeah. I appreciate it was short. I am being harsh. I know I'm being harsh. Don't get me wrong. But as a goalkeeper, he's got to get that ball out of danger. That has to be his first instinct, and it didn't. But it is what it is, isn't it? Defensively, I don't think we've defended the cross particularly badly. Although having said that, when you actually do look at it, the 2 players, the player who scored and the other player next to him, were not marked. They were unmarked completely. So you've got to question that there's 2 players unmarked, not just 1 but 2 at the back post in an offside position. Just thought about that. But you've got the issue. What I would say to that, and this is it's a slightly different subject. It's in relation to the offside rule. In actual fact, there you've got 4 players that are offside, 5 players, that are offside. You've got 3 in the middle. I think it's 3 anyway. Certainly 2 in the middle who were clearly in an offside position. No question. I have no argument with that. But if that's a free kick and that free kick is coming into the box, there is a strong argument that they are interfering with play because their positioning is such that the defenders are having to cover that position. They can't just leave them there. So therefore, once that ball's kicked, they are offside. Whether it's going to them or not, I don't care. Yeah. They are offside and they are influencing play. They might not be directly influencing it in terms of the ball coming to them, but they are influencing play. And this is something that it has to be looked at. It's just wrong. It is wrong. But because what you're doing by having this rule is you're putting a massive amount of pressure onto the linesman, onto the assistant referee, who proved time and time again that they're not competent enough to deal with a standard, straightforward, easy offside. And they do, at every level. It's not easy. I accept it's not easy, but they're not able to cope with that. So when you start throwing complications into the mix, with these rules. It just makes it a virtually impossible job to do. So anyway, a different subject. We still wouldn't have won the game, but
No, yeah, fair point. So on to the next part of it. I was going to say because we've lost 5 in a row now, 389 minutes without a goal now, which is obviously a massive issue as well. The worn out people came out on social media. Yesterday, it felt like a lot of people. For me, it did. We put a poll out today on Sunday, and it's, as we're recording, it's just closing, 450 votes. 86% voted for Warne in. So it clearly is a minority that are wanting Warne to leave. Some people are suggesting, for where this is coming from, I don't know, that if we lose on Wednesday, that Tony Stewart might be having a think about Warne's position. I don't know. Again, that's just a rumor. We don't know if there's any base to it. I hope it's nothing, but you don't know. It's football, you know. These things can come out of nowhere, but when they start getting pushed around so much, smoke without fire and things like that. I'm going to start by asking. I assume that we're all in the Warne-in camp.
Yep.
Ben?
Yeah.
Cool.
Come on.
Fantastic.
It's not. Yeah.
Well, they've got to cover it because I think it's a lot of people have mentioned it, so I think it's important to cover it and just mention it. We did last time when there was rumours about it in November, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So the main question I have is, if you were going to get rid of Paul Warne, this is I don't know if you guys will be able to answer it. If you're going to get rid of Paul Warne, who the hell would you replace him with? Who out there would come in and do as good or better job than him? Because I can't think of anybody that would come.
I think that answers your question, doesn't it?
The only person that's available that might is Paul Cook, but I can't see Paul Cook coming to us.
And who did so well at Chesterfield? Paul Cook. That one.
He gone to League One playoffs.
Where are they now?
He left to go to Pompey, won the league with Pompey. Went to Wigan, got Wigan promoted from League One, and by rights would have kept them up last season, barring the points deduction. So again, so he went to Chesterfield, and then he went on to bigger and better things at Pompey. Why did he leave Pompey? Because Wigan came in for him. And I think Wigan were either in the Championship or were in the verge of getting promoted from League One, and he did get promoted from League One.
And where are Wigan now?
Well, by rights, he kept them up last year, didn't he?
Yeah. Listen, you know my view on it, and there's nobody else that I want at my club. Nobody. I don't want anybody else. This is a long-term project, and it is a long-term project. A long-term actually means long-term. It doesn't mean 2 or 3 seasons. It means a long-term project. If we need to look first. The first things first that people need to understand, in my view, is that football teams lose. It's a fact. It happens. There's every single one of the 92 football league clubs have lost 5 and more games on the trot. Yeah, they've done it in the past, and in the future, every single one of those 92 football league clubs are going to lose 5 or more games on the trot. It's called football. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what happens. You know what I mean? Some of those clubs have gone on and sacked the manager after they've lost 5 games or 6 games or 7 games. Guess what happened after that? They went on and lost another 5 or 6 games on the trot at some stage, because it happens. You know what I mean? But when they did that, when they lost them all, they got less money, less staff. You know what? Less committed staff at the team, less committed footballers. You know what I mean? For me, right? If you are in the worn-out camp, and I respect your view, I fully respect it. I genuinely do. Okay. My advice is, or my suggestion is, that you've got to accept the fact that football teams lose, and you've got to accept it. And if you can't accept that without having to blame somebody else for it and ask for somebody's head because of it, then really you are watching the wrong sport, because it is going to happen. It doesn't matter who's the manager. You know when like I jokingly tweeted out today that Tony Stewart's got Pep lined up, and that is a fact. That is actually true. If Pep comes along, we could lose 5 or 6 games. Are we going to get rid of him then? And then lose another 5 games and get rid of somebody else and get rid of somebody else and so on and so on. And you end up on the same gravy train where people are just coming in, taking the money, taking the payoff, because it costs us to sack managers. You know what I mean? Taking the payoff like Kenny did and disappearing off into sunset with money while we've got no manager, a team in disarray, and we're looking for somebody else. We're looking for somebody else who's not going to have the same commitment to the club that the current team have got. They are learning, and it's not a short-term process. It's not something that you can learn over 2 or 3 years. It isn't. Because as Ben pointed out in previous podcasts, all the exceptional managers, with the exception of the odd 1 or 2 like Pep, are 40, 50, 60 years old. They've got the experience. You know what I mean? It's farcical for me. It really is farcical. I don't know. I genuinely don't understand it. And I know, like I said, that people have got their opinions and they're entirely entitled to them. But in my view, it would just be the most. It would spell nothing but disaster for the club for me in the longer term. We're going to be back down in League One and we're going to be struggling in League One, League Two like we have done in the past because we've got no plan. So that's my view. I just think there's some work to do, but I think the people in charge are more than capable of doing it with the squad that they've got at the moment.
Ben?
I said it in November or October or whenever it was. When we lost the game. I think if Warne goes, right? I think if Warne goes this season, if we go down, let's say it gets to about 40 games, right, and we're 8 points adrift, right, and somehow, somewhere, God forbid, Warne gets sacked, right, and we go down, because we will. Ain't nobody caretaker, unless Pep's going to come in for caretaker manager or Warne not back in. We're going down, right? Olsen will go, Robertson will go, Crooks will go, Smith will go, Barlas will go, Wiles probably might go, and Blackman won't come back. Who else is on loan? Hurst won't come back. We don't care about Hurst. The backbone of the team will go. Barlas will only come to us because of Warne. He had so many of the others. I think Brentford were one of offers, or was it Reading? Or whatever. Quite a good team offered him. And if he goes, backbone of the team will be gone. We'll have to rebuild again. We might even go down to League Two, to be honest. Because we'll lose all of our good players. Smith will go. He's too good for League One probably now. So, I mean...
But the thing is, if we go down, we're going to lose most of them anyway. Crooks ain't staying in League One, even under Warne. No. I don't think Smith will stay. Barles would, yeah.
Sunday would. Robbo would. Wiles would. Rotherham lad.
Wiles would. Robertson wants to play Championship, doesn't he? Well, he wants to get in Scotland squad.
He's not good enough. He's not good enough. No. Come on, man. If he wants to have his ego like that, he can go out at club. I'm too good for League One, mate. Nah, come and show it then, mate. Do you know what I mean? You can't even get...
When he's fit, he does. When he's fit, he's really good. He's just...
He doesn't stand out, does he? He doesn't stand out. Go and show it in League One, man. I'm too good for League One. No, you're not. Go and show it. Come on, he didn't say that. I'm too good. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. I know, but if he's I want to leave. You know what I mean? You got to show it, man. But yeah, I think if Warne goes, we'll lose backbone at the team. And as a businessman, I think it's probably the stupidest business decision you'll ever make. As a businessman.
The thing is, if we do go down and you're in League One, what you're going to want in League One is a manager who knows how to get you promoted.
You're going to want players to start.
Well, Paul Warne knows how to get you promoted out of League One. Yeah. He knows how to do it. So he would be the first name on the list of building a team to get you promoted out of League One. If and it's a big if we went down.
This is the thing, right? Like I said, 10 points, whatever. Warne goes, right? Barker goes. Warrington goes.
Oh, yeah.
They do. They go.
Goes, yeah.
And whoever... And yeah, there you go. And then you got a whole new staff coming. Someone from Germany, someone from Sweden, all of this crap there that don't even care about club. They're just using it as a stepping stone, right? And then where's that leave you? Just keep getting these players in, people who don't care about the club. It takes so much time. It took us, what is it? I think it's 99 years, right, to actually get to a place where we've got a club that is a club, not a business, a club. Since when we created 1925, I don't think we've had this. Obviously, I weren't alive then, but we've had this atmosphere. We've had this atmosphere or this club since probably Mick's been alive. We've had that stupid owner with thingy, point deduction. And I think if Warne goes, Barker goes, thingy goes, a lot of players go. You have to rebuild the culture. 10, 20 years minimum. League One, League Two, your club. That's what will happen. We'll lose money, and Stuart might even go.
Well, what I will say is that the club will be here after Paul Warne goes. Yeah. I love Paul Warne. Us three particularly are massive Warne fans. Me and Mick of his playing days as well as his management days. Obviously, Ben wasn't around for most of them. But there will come a time when Paul Warne leaves. For one reason or another, he will leave at some point in the future. And we will still be here. Hopefully, we'll all still be here. And there will be a club. So that is going to happen at some point. I don't think right now is that point. And I don't think we're anywhere near that being the point. Yeah. If it got to, if let's say for example we get relegated and it gets to February next year and we're 14th, then that's when I would be having conversation. If we're nowhere near playoffs and we're looking like a team, that's got no direction, then I think that's a genuine time to look at it. Because it may well have ran its natural course, but I don't think that will be the case. I still think we've got a very good chance of staying up because the Championship is a rubbish league this year. And if we do go down, there isn't a single manager out there who knows League One how to get out of League One as much as Paul Warne in management. He's been promoted every season. He's been in Championship, so I think he knows a thing or two about getting out of it.
I hope. I wish it were Championship.
God, yeah. It's pretty good at getting out of Championship and all, to be fair. But I mean, there's been times over the last 24 hours where I've sort of scrolled through social media and thought I'd dropped into a coma and it were end of April. You know what I mean? We've 16 games left to go. 15 games, whatever it is, 15 games. I don't know. And the other thing, yeah, the other thing that sort of grates on me a little bit is all these rumours. I've put it out there on Twitter today. Saying somebody, quite a few people bandying about the fact that Paul Warne were going to get sacked before the Bristol game, and it gathers momentum. You know what I mean? But nobody at all can tell me where that information came from.
Well, they won't be able to. This is the thing.
But that's right, because it was made up.
But even if it wasn't made up, they still wouldn't be able to tell you where it came from.
It's just nonsense.
Tony Stewart can't come out and say, "Yeah, actually, I was going to sack him." He couldn't say that.
So what's the point?
Yeah, I was going to give him blue after the Bristol game, but I didn't.
Yeah.
What's the point? What is the point in putting it out there?
It shouldn't have been put out there. Let's assume it's true. Somebody's got that information either from a conversation with Tony Stewart or somebody close to Tony Stewart, and then has leaked that information when they probably shouldn't have done. Because you're not going to want that information.
If that's the case, right? If that's the case, right, then Tony Stewart's probably got to be one of the dumbest people in Rotherham to tell anybody except him and the guy in the mirror that information.
It's not just Tony Stewart's. It's not.
Maybe it's why. Maybe it's probably why.
It's not his wife, mate.
That you'd go with that.
It's not his wife, mate.
Definitely not his wife. No.
Well,
I mean,
it's not his decision. There's a board of directors, so it could have, if there was a leak, it could have come from one of the board of directors. Not saying it did. It could. But
the bottom line with it is it's like my grandma always used to say to me: "Do not believe what you read on internet."
The thing is,
not true. Anyway.
No,
not gone, mate.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say obviously, like, there's some people say there's a 72-hour rule, right, to internet, right? So something will happen, right? We lose a game, for example, right? And it's a bit longer for football, right? I don't know. Let's just say I do something stupid, right? And I'm someone at one stature or whatever. I do something stupid, right? Everyone's talking about it. I'm like, oh my god, now I've got to say something, right? You sleep on it, right? You wake up in the morning, you feel bad about it. Oh no. You wake up the next morning, you feel bad about it or whatever, right? You wake up the next morning, someone else has done something even more stupid that nobody even cares about you anymore, right? And this is the same because you feel bad about it, you win a game, nobody cares anymore. And this is the problem with social media. This is why managers don't last more than 3 days anymore. It's pathetic, honestly. Like, Twitter's like, you know what I mean?
It's not been a bad place today, I'll be honest with you, after you put that poll on, Matt. Some of the comments on there from both sides of the argument, as you've quite rightly pointed out, have been really good debate, really good thought out, well-reasoned points being made. So it makes a change, because there has been some absolute stupidity on some of the social media platforms. I mean, utter stupidity. But you can't legislate for that, can you?
No.
So.
To put a line finish on it, if this was any club, I think you would be stupid to set your manager in the position we're in. You're fighting for relegation, in with a good chance of still staying up with 15 games left. Unless you've got a Neil Warnock coming in, you would be absolutely stupid to change it now. If you want to change it end of the season or when relegation is confirmed. Don't change it now. It would just be such a backwards way of doing things for me. It could work. Let's find out on Wednesday. If what happens on Wednesday, we'll find out one way or another, won't we? If we win 3-0 like we did in September or October or November, like we did against Wednesday, then nobody will say dicky bird, will they?
No.
So, any more you want to talk about on the Reading game or this issue at all, you two?
Nah.
No.
Cool.
No.
I'll do me. We move on to the game on Wednesday, live on Sky, as we mentioned. Sheffield Wednesday will host us, obviously. If it was possible for two teams to lose, Ben, this would be the game where both teams would lose.
What do you mean?
Well, they've won one game out of their last.
Lost
5 out of the last 6. The only game they won was Wickham, and we've lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game for players that are low on quote-unquote confidence.
Why did you put quotations in confidence?
Because to be low on confidence is nothing but a self-error. But whatever, that's a different conversation. But yeah, it needs to be important. It's an important game. I think we can't lose it. I think the players know that. I think Warne knows that. But I don't know, man. It's going to be hard, but they are crap. But then again, we're not Barca at the minute, so.
No, that's true. If Birmingham win on Tuesday night, Mick, if whichever team then loses on Wednesday, how close to relegation would that team be? Bear in mind, you would then we'd be 8 points adrift. Wednesday would be 9 points adrift.
14 games.
2 in hand as well.
14 games, or 16 for whatever it is. 14 or 12 games is how far away you are. You're not down. Not even close. We're not even in the realms at the moment of, mathematically we can still do it. We're not even close to that. This we've got to get this into some sort of perspective, some sort of context here. With 14 games to play, so that's 42 points.
15 games to play.
15 games to play. Well, there you go.
You want to make your mind
5 points.
You said 16 a minute, but then you said 14.
Whatever it is, with 40 plus points available to play for, and we've got all the teams around us to play. all of which, apart from with the exception of Birmingham, we've beaten so far.
Yeah.
You know, so no, you know, if we lose on Wednesday, we're not down. We're not down, and it's not the end of the world. It's not. I mean, yeah, obviously I want to win because for two reasons, but obviously because I don't want to get cut adrift, and obviously because we're playing piggies. However, get it into some sort of perspective here. You know, we're only just. Well, are we in March yet? No, we're not. We're not in March until Monday.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Whatever.
So by the time that somebody's listened to this, yes, it will be March.
Yeah. Well, we're in March, just by hours into March. You know what I mean? We're just please. We just. I don't know. It's like everything is either panic. There's a gift for you. Or how wonderful are we? We're brilliant. Yes, excellent. We're best team in the world. There's no in betweens, is there?
What I would
say
is obviously none of us are professional sports people. But the people who are these panic, lose one game, whatever, you can tell they're not professional sports people. Because if you have that mentality and you're a professional footballer, tennis, whatever sport you play, you ain't going to get far. You are not going to get far. You're going to get sacked within the month. That's why, and this is why, because, I don't know.
Do these people have the same? I mean, if that is you, you know, when you go to work, is it the same sort of whatever it is you do for a living? I don't. Obviously, whatever it is, you know, if you, I don't know, if you work on bins and you tip a bin over, is that end of world or whatever? You know, I don't know. I can't think of any, but you know what I mean. People don't have the same attitude in their own daily life. Yeah, if you're a doctor, obviously that might be slightly different, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, surgeon.
Yeah. Oops.
No, but the thing is, what I think it is right. At least at the moment, it's a very stressful time for a lot of people, right? And a lot of people don't take the time. You know, it sounds kind of, I don't want to do that, but you know, stuff like yoga and stuff like that are meant to relax the mind. People don't do that. It's like, why would I do yoga? But like, people get very stressed because of the time. They can't see friends, family, whatever the case may be. You're working from home with 5 million people in your house. It's annoying, you know, and people don't or can't struggle to demonstrate patience in everyday life because they're sick of it. They had patience in the first lockdown and it's backfired. So then they think, why should I, subconsciously, they probably think, why should I show patience anywhere else? You know what I mean? And it comes through in people like Twitter because everyone knows, you know, because it's a wall, basically. You can put whatever you want and get away with it, you know. And then they just let the anger out and frustration that, you know, probably 9 times out of 10 caused by nothing related to what they're talking about. And they just let it out on other people, you know. And that's the problem with social media because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I guarantee if we had that discussion in real life, it wouldn't have been, it'd have been very more calm, much more, you know, and stuff like this. So
that was mentioned on the it was mentioned on live show, wasn't it, in one of the tweets, one of the messages we sent. I think it was Mark Gamble who mentioned it, the fact that the people that are making these comments are the ones that you sort of walk out behind after a game and bloody hell, he's rubbish, get him sacked. You know, we've all done it, haven't we? You know, we've walked out at great, he's absolute garbage, him, whatever. Yeah. But by the time you got to your car and got home, it's gone. There's no further outlet for it, and there's no real need for it because you sort of vented your spleen as you've walked out at ground. But social media has allowed for people to just keep it going. You know what I mean? And it's a bit poisonous at times. I don't really like it.
No, not really. I also think this season it's easy, very, very easy to feel disconnected from the club and the staff and the players. I think that's playing into it a little bit. I don't feel part of the journey this season. No. If that makes sense. Which, and I understand why people, you can't, can you really? We try to keep as close to the games and everything else as possible, but we're not there. So I think that has an impact on the way people view things as well.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But anyway, hopefully we'll win on Wednesday night. Both teams come into it in horrendous form. We have a pretty good record at Hillsborough, though. We've only lost one in the last 7 games at Hillsborough. And that game we lost was that last-minute penalty, which Xiao dived for, when Woody got sent off.
So unusual for him there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very strange.
Must have had an off day.
Yeah. It's an okay place for us historically. We tend to struggle at home to Wednesday, and our away record's pretty good. We've had some famous wins, haven't we? You know, the 2-2-1 back in early 2000s, the 1-0 win under Warnock. We've had some good days at Hillsborough.
Yeah, probably more than Wednesday fans have recently. To be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I speak to of the good friends with a few Wednesday fans, and they're sort of tearing the hair out at the minute. They're in a black hole. They're the idea if they go down this season, which looks like they may well do. They're not sure that they'll come back or how long it will take them to come back, which is sort of quite amusing.
Yeah, it's a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. But I see what I'm saying. League One's getting very congested with some big teams: Sunderland, Ipswich, Hull. Peterborough are big-ish. They're trying to get up, obviously.
Top of the league, aren't they?
Yeah, Lincoln are up there. I mean, they're not one of the bigger clubs, but they're doing quite well. So it's a tough league to be in League One. So I don't really want to be in it next year. But we may well be. On team selection, Ben, we are in the midst of another injury crisis. We have, as it stands, one fit centre half in Angus MacDonald. There is a small possibility Woody will be back. But I think from what Warne said, it's touch and go whether he will be available. Hickey's still suspended. Robertson's now done his hamstring. It's a massive worry, Ben, that we've only got one fully fit centre half.
Extremely. This one fit centre half, debatable whether I call him a centre half or not, but. Yeah.
You nasty little piece of work.
I thought you were talking about Woody, to be honest, when he said one fits with centre half. I don't know. He's going to have to play, innit? It's not harsh, I don't think.
MacDonald were really good on Saturday. We're one of the few that were.
Yeah, he was. He was, to be fair. Still 3 on goals. But it should obviously play too. Whatever. It should obviously play because, no centre backs. I think you're going to have to put. Thinking that, there's no one you can put in. That Cooper. He's been registered.
That's it.
Cooper's been registered, that young man. I think he's only actual centre back. I don't think he'll play in, obviously. Surely Mac might have to get in.
Crooks has played centre back last year, didn't he? So you could always put Crooks there.
Yeah, you would start like that, though, would you?
That's probably
how desperate we are.
Well,
if
get me down
tomorrow and Angus MacDonald stubs his toe, then Crooks might
stubs his toe. Come on, what are we playing netball? Come on,
I mean,
no offense to anybody who plays netball.
You know what I mean? If he stubs his toe and can't walk because he's broken his toe, you can break your toe by stubbing it. Then
put Blackman in there, then.
Depends what you stub it on, a knife, maybe. But
I mean, that's more like to cut it off than break it.
Are we going to off subject here a bit?
What can you stub it on? Cupboard? I've never blown my toe by a banister. Oh, come on. I've not done it. Why would they have a banister middle of a pitch?
Slightly off topic here, I think.
I don't think they would have a banister on the pitch. I meant it just seemed normal life to stub your toe and hurt yourself. I was using a funny example. There were a footballer a few years ago that broke the foot by dropping a beer on it during a barbecue. So that type of thing, well, that's not going to happen right now. No, you know what I mean.
Drinking alcohol,
yes,
in season. But yeah,
this is pre-season. But anyway,
hello.
Yeah.
I just welcome everybody back to the Rotherham United podcast. Just I've been on a short commercial break there in relation to something that God only knows what. So, who do you think is going to play it back on Wednesday night? Then, Ben.
And what formation do you think? Do you think he'll stick with 3 or do you think he'll go 4?
He's got to play 4. Got to play 4. Harding on the Sunday. McDonald, Giles. He's got to. That's the only formation. The only people he can play. I'd be very interested to see what it is if it's not that. Extremely. You're going to bring young lad in. Or I don't. What's crack with Matic?
He's miles off, I think. International.
Couple of weeks before he's back training on grass. I understand that Benny is back on grass.
He might be available before the international break.
Yeah, possibly.
Which would be massive.
Yeah. So yeah.
As it should have been last time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's going to be a tough game. It is going to be a tough game. Make no mistake about it. Because they're scrapping for their lives and we're scrapping for our lives. So I don't know. I can't imagine for 1 minute how he's going to select his team, and he won't do that until Wednesday, will he? Until he knows who's fit. If Woody's back, he might be able to get back to 5 across the back. In which case, it's not such a big deal. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I suspect Woody will be fit, in inverted commas, fit.
Well, yeah. When we stopped on the live show on Saturday, I sort of said to you, if I were Warne, I'd be tempted, as long as there's no long-term damage, is to pump Woody full as many painkillers as you possibly can, and hope that he can get through 90 minutes for you.
He don't need painkillers, does he?
Well, no, because you'll Icky back on Saturday, so as long as there would be no long-term damage to Woody, because if he plays Wednesday, he won't be fit to play Saturday anyway. I don't think he can play Wednesday, Saturday anyway. So if that's a possibility for Woody, it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. But I'm probably with Ben. I think it's probably going to be a 4-4-2. We need to play some wingers on Mick. Or 4-4-1-1, yeah. If we do that, Mick, we've got to play wingers. We've got to have 2 wingers on the pitch. We can't do what we did Saturday, have a substitute midfielders. But then who are the 2 wingers? Because you're going to play Giles at left back.
You'd have Wiles and Sadlier.
Or Flojo.
He looked quite sharp actually when he came on Saturday. So yeah, I mean that's another option. That is another option. So he has got options in that area, certainly in the midfield. So we'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to depend on injuries, isn't it? It's going to depend on injuries, and because the formation depends on what the injuries are. In terms of Woody particularly. So, and none of us are going to know the answer to that, are we?
No.
Until Wednesday.
Yeah. Ben, are you starting up top? Do you go 4-4-2 and put Smith and Hurst, maybe? What are you doing?
Smith and Crooks. Smith and Crooks. For me. Classic. It will work again. It will work no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I agree. People are saying start Hurst. I don't blame him. Because why not? But at the same time, at times it's like playing with one less man. So he can't. I hope he comes on and bangs a couple because it would be absolutely brilliant if he did that to them.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
But I can't see it happening.
We've got bigger things to worry about, aren't we, at the moment? And that's not just getting him back into any sort of form. So that's further down the list.
Yeah, they come back off. Wednesday they were 2-0 up against Luton at the weekend and managed to lose 3-2 to a Luton team who don't score many goals. So that's the type of form that they're in. Still managerless. They're in a big pit at the minute, and they're struggling to find themselves out of it, which is good news for us as it stands, and hopefully good news because they'll take up one of the relegation spots, hopefully. So that's all we've got. Do you want to do some score predictions, Mick?
3-0. Millers.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm having that. 3-0.
1-0. 1-0.
I'm going to go 1-0. We don't have many goals in this game. Because our games at Manila. Although, yeah, no, if we get one, we might get 3 or 4. We might just need that little burst of confidence, hopefully.
Definitely.
Yes, please get involved if you want. Let us know your score predictions. If you haven't already downloaded the Fan Hub app, because we've got a little scoreboard going up. Lewis from the Millers Reporter is currently top of that tree. So well done to him. You've got to predict the lineup and do a check-in before the game. I think it's pretty good, isn't it, mate? You've got it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It'll be better once. Sorry, Ben. Sorry.
No, I thought you said Ben for some reason. My mind just went off there.
Once we get back into ground, it'll be even better. You know, we're getting to away game, things like that. It'll certainly help. So yeah, get it downloaded.
Yes, Fan Hub, it's called that. So please download that. And thank you to Footy Towels for providing me with my background today, which is the Tivoli song, Drop Me from Rotherham, beach towels. So if you plan on booking your summer holidays, get a Rotherham themed one. Why not? I'm sure this one will end up at Mick's house at some point.
Oh, yes. Do not leave that lying about, mate.
And thanks to all who got involved in the discussion on Twitter and Facebook. Me and Mick definitely enjoyed it. So thank you all. And we will be back on the watch along, Mick, Wednesday. That's on Sky Sports. All being well, we'll be doing the watch along like we did against Bournemouth. Bournemouth. So that's the plan. 7:45 kickoff. So it's a reasonable hour. You never know. Ben might turn up for half of the game or not.
Yeah, I might be there. It depends. I don't think I've got any commitments Wednesday, so I will. I probably will be there for the first half.
Excellent news. That's exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
So, what?
I said, wow.
Yeah, I know. Unbelievable scenes. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. That's coming up 150 subscribers at the minute. So thank you to all who have subscribed. Please, if you haven't, please do subscribe and share it. You know, you share the link to everybody else. Hopefully, get everybody subscribing to there, and we'll get some stuff up there. Obviously, all our shows go on there every week, twice a week, obviously. That is all I have. So thank you very much, Mick. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
And thank you very much, Ben. I like how you turn up when it's important. You're the proper podcast, so you always turn up for them, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, mate. And thank you all for listening. We do really appreciate it. So we'll see you all on Wednesday for the watch along. If not, we'll be back Friday morning for the proper review of that as we look ahead to Brentford on Saturday. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Cheers for watching and listening, guys. And we'll see you very, very soon. Cheers.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant!